All right, so we're back again with episode 8, Emily. And our topic this week is synchronicities. Oh, so excited to be talking on this subject today.
And I love that 8 on its sides. Infinity.
Oh, it's so powerful. And the power of 8 as well, you were saying.
We were talking about that, weren't we, last year around some power of 8 groups, just to explore what setting intentions was and sending positive energy to each other, what that would be all about. And I just decided to gather my favorite people in the world that I don't get to see enough. Lovely. And just run these little groups and do the power of 8.
Love that. It's another thing to explore another time. I love it.
But back to synchronicities.
More. So yes, back to synchronicity. So I just wanted to share that you probably can't see it, but I asked our guides this morning. We had one beautiful topic to share for the last episode. And when we were looking for the next topic, I really channeled in deeply with my guides and really felt a strong presence of source running through me. It was really beautiful.
But we need the preamble. We need the Daisy Duke preamble.
Oh, the Daisy. Oh, yeah, okay.
What was going on?
This is a longer story than I was planning on telling.
It wasn't just like, divine goddess Lucy here is going to sit and lay her cards so beautifully and just channel the next message. Like, let's keep it real. Let's keep this real.
More than happy to keep it real. And actually, I was quite proud of myself, wasn't I?
You were, and that's why this needs to be championed.
Yeah. Because it was kind of a level up, actually, for me. Because as some of you might know, I have a little puppy, and she's just a year old. She's super cute. She's lovely. But in the morning, and generally, she's very playful. And she was having a moment of sheer excitement, and she was running around. But it was bang on my time where I needed to daily check-in with my higher self and with my guides. And I had a particular question, which was about the topic for our podcast. I like it to be channeled. We like them to be channeled through our guides, through our team. They like to be included. It's a co-creation with a lot of beings.
A lot of energy.
Lots of energies being woven. Hopefully you can feel it into these episodes.
Figure eighting, if you will.
So much going on. So many people coming through. So I just was setting the intention to do that at that point, and did all my lovely preparation. My puppy knows the preparation. She knows the process I go through, and she knows what's about to happen, and she gets excited. She's like, oh, it's going to be that time. And Mummy does her calming stuff, but that makes her excited. So anyway, so she's running around absolutely crazily. I laid my cards out. She's skidding over the cards. I'm at that point started connecting in, grounding myself, and I went to kind of go and ask the question. And my guides were like, no. You need to relax a bit more first so that you can hear our voices more clearly. You need to ground yourself. And they guided me through grounding and opening up my heart, all the things that I put into the lovely meditations for you guys, or we put in our lovely meditations. They're there for a reason. There is a process for a reason. And I listened and connected the way they were guiding me to. And listening to their words and focusing on the importance of the grounding and opening up my heart and opening up my lower and upper chakras and really focusing on that and not on Daisy just really helped me to not pick a card from that place of rush and panic and annoyance at Daisy. I really managed
time constraints.
Yeah, the time pressure. I just let it all go. I really was practicing what I was preaching in this moment, in that moment. And I think that's why Emily's asked me to share it, because, we
I want
all
you to
have
hear
these
the
challenges.
process.
Yeah.
We have life. We have laundry.
Lots of things piling up and a crazy dog. And it's possible, guys. But that takes practice. It takes practice. And don't beat yourself up if you do get annoyed at your dog or your distractions, because I do too.
Yeah,
I do
human.
too. I get annoyed with things that get in my way. And it's just that constant not letting that put you off by going deeper sometimes and just letting go of something that's really quite annoying and getting messed up. Things don't have to be perfect. And this is what I was focusing on or not focusing on. I was like, just letting go for everything, for the cards to have to sit there perfectly, letting go of her barking and annoying the neighbors. I just had to just let it go, stay focused on what I was doing. And honestly, it saved me so much time in doing so. I could have faffed about with Daisy, lost the moment, but I didn't. I managed to maintain that focus on the task in hand, as I like to call it. And my beautiful guides within seconds then were like, boom, here you go. And this card came out. So our topic, long story short, is synchronicity. And as soon as I got it, I just felt like, oh my gosh.
Of course.
Of course. And we all love synchronicities, don't we? And it's such a beautiful way of us connecting with our spirit guides and connecting with our path and our higher selves.
Absolutely. And the second that you shared that card, then I was squealing because we'd been leaving voice notes in the morning talking about events for this week and what's happening and what's kind of popping up so quickly for us these days. And we both end up having different marketing events to go to tomorrow. And so we were like, look at the synchronicity. And then you pull the card, synchronicity. So we've settled on synchronicity for today. And as Lucy says, we all know everyone loves it. Everyone's really getting into that mode of seeing 11:11 on the clock, 22:22, seeing feathers, seeing number patterns, always getting screenshots from people or little numbers being sent or favorite messages, or got a lovely message today sent at 10:10 wishing me good luck for an awards ceremony this evening. It's lovely, isn't it?
Really beautiful. And very when we share our synchronicities, sorry, this is kind of off a tangent slightly, but when we share our synchronicities, we're sharing that frequency as well, aren't we? When we're sending that 11:11 down the phone to our friends, we are literally, they receive the frequency of that. And that's beautiful. Connecting
right? Through the frequency and just strengthening and embedding that frequency. Like, I notice this and you're important enough for me to share it with you. And that's kind of another way of being really supportive during this turbulent time where things are busy and cards get messed up and, dogs bark and cats meow. So,
and it's that higher self connection, right? It's a reminder of the all that is, the bigger picture, that we're supported.
Because it's all happening for a reason. We just don't necessarily get a preview into why it's all happening like that. And it could be so that we could talk about it on this podcast, so we could embed it a little bit more, so we can teach it, so we can guide others, so we can learn. We just need to be open to it, don't we?
We do. So what are these synchronicities? What is a synchronicity? For anyone, some people are watching might be like, lots of people do know, but what if people don't know?
So a synchronicity is when things align and just time up and two things happen at the same time, isn't it? Or similar things happen. Isn't that what you would call synchronicity? Things are syncing up so that they're becoming more in tune.
It's interesting that it's called a synchronicity because
you're combining, you're joining.
I think it's a connection between the other realm and our realm.
Yes.
I think that's the word, the meaning of the definition potentially.
Yes.
It's that interweaving, and it's interesting because we see it as like we take it a different way, don't we? We see a synchronicity as the numbers, the this, the that, but actually it's the two realms syncing up.
Yeah, that you're more in 5D or that you're more in alignment with your path.
With that.
You're on the right way of going. You're doing what you're meant to be doing. It's a confirmation, isn't it? It's a wink from the universe.
It is.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And examples of those. What are examples? Well, you mentioned the numbers, the angel numbers. So many people see these beautiful synchronicities, but we know that it's a synchronicity because of how it feels. We've mentioned this before.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It's important to reiterate, isn't it? Really?
It is.
It's the feeling that you get when you see the number. It's not just, that's the number.
It's how to begin with, it could just be a spark of delight that you're seeing it on the stove or that someone's pointed it out to you. I think the universe is trying to spark more and more joy. Yeah. Isn't it?
And it's playful, isn't it?
It is playful.
Energy.
It was really playful. My goodness, we were in a playful mood this morning, just laughing. And I was thinking, maybe we're going to be talking about that kind of frequency today. But no, synchronicities, and that all makes sense. And Carl Jung describes it perfectly. It's the connection between your inner thoughts and your outer events, right? You're creating your reality, and it's just giving you that confirmation back. So it's that feedback loop of getting that information back. And on Carl Jung, someone listened to our first episode of our podcast yesterday and mentioned that it reminded him of Carl Jung's philosophies. And I thought, oh, how unusual. I'd only been listening to another program that also mentioned Carl Jung and his thoughts. And then when we were kind of musing today on this,
Carl Jung came up again.
He came up again. So 3 days in a row. So yeah, let's like focus.
That was the epitome of a synchronicity.
I know. And for the reason that we could share it and teach it. And yeah, that interconnection between our inner thoughts and our outer world, helping us manifest, helping us create, helping us experience.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So much bigger than us.
And it often they have meanings as well, don't they? You know, and it's working out what those mean for you, isn't it?
Yeah,
and I think it invites you, when you start seeing the numbers, it's an invitation almost to start that play and that interaction in a different way to sitting in meditation. It's another way of communicating with your guides, with the other realms. It's a way of I think you said, you know, when you see a number, it's like, what does that mean for me? What does that mean?
We've got a few questions
and
actually
starting
to help
the
you with
dialogues. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
So say a synchronicity happens. The best way to do this, if you're kind of on the beginning of this path, is to write them down, right? You know, you've just driven past a car and you've seen another 333 on a license plate. You know, you can start to, not when you're driving, but you can start to write these synchronicities down. And then that's kind of like more confirmation that these are happening. You might get to the point where you filled a journal with them and you're like, okay, now what? So we've got a series of questions that people can go through. And it is, what were you thinking just before that synchronicity happened? So what were you thinking? Where was that thought panel? Because it could be like, yes, do that, or I don't know. And if you you're, I don't remember what I was thinking. I just got so excited. I completely lost my train of thought. Then you could just take a moment and pause and ask, okay, what is in my highest good for seeing this again, for noticing again, for getting this confirmation again? What is in my highest good to know? Pause, give space, and let that come through as your higher self giving you a few words or an image or a feeling or a sensation or some vision in your mind.
Or you could journal. Some people are really tuned into automatic writing. So
that's
if
right.
I ask a question written down, the answer will just flow from my pen.
Yeah, or
So
journal.
I'm sure that will be, for some of you, just write the question and then write the answer and trust that what you've written is the right answer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Nice to try.
And then if none of those are working, how did it make you feel in your heart when that synchronicity occurred, when you saw that feather? And hopefully that will just remind you that you're not alone. You're never alone. And that we are given these little cookie crumbs to help us along the way. Yeah,
and more, I want to say, I'm going out on a limb here, but I would say more often than not, it's confirmation of a yes.
I agree.
I don't really feel like
Definitely.
I've ever, and actually please comment below if anyone's had any warnings with synchronicities. I don't think I ever have. I don't think I've ever had seen a feather or seen a number because it's trying to warn me.
But maybe they haven't come in that form.
Not for me.
Maybe you've had an appliance and the third one breaks down and you're like, that's it, I'm done with tech or electricity today.
It seems to come in other ways, yeah.
Yeah, so
we're
kind of talking about synchronicities in quite a specific way, aren't we?
We are.
But they can happen.
Let's talk about some other forms then. Let's lift the lid on that then.
Well, I mean,
Because synchronicities can
maybe
be
someone canceling on you and you end up going for a walk on your own and you bump into someone else that you were never meant to meet. Yes. But actually the universe was like, you can talk to them later. That's why they're going to cancel on you. We're going to give them another opportunity. And here we're going to share this beautiful other person, other human that you haven't connected with for a while.
So that's synchronicity, but redirection. Isn't it? And I love redirection. You know, if you get stuck in traffic and you're late for something, you know, we have such a, got to be there on the certain time and la, 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 la. Actually, that traffic could have saved you from an accident or something.
Absolutely.
You know?
And why not think of it as that? Every time.
Do that,
you know, it's going to make you feel better.
Yeah.
It'll make you feel so much better.
Yeah, that just really does take the stress out of being late for anything or missing an appointment, or, you know, if something gets cancelled or someone cancels on you, you know, never take offense to that. That's always things being magically woven for a reason. If somebody cancels something, take it with a pinch of salt. You can always rearrange. I mean,
and really tune into how it makes you feel and why it makes you feel.
I was going to say.
And then kind of break down the ego in that as well. Because were you kind of expecting it? Was it completely out of the blue? Is it out of character? There'll be more there that you can unpick and then go, well, what's in my eye is good to know about this. Please share this.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, could this be redirection? And if you look at it that way, it will be. You know, it really will be.
What is this giving me the opportunity to do?
Okay, this is opening an opportunity for me. And then you just move out of any kind of level of anger or frustration, which you need to let go of for that person. You don't want to be sending them bad vibes. And you're redirected to an even better experience. If you think that a redirection is to bring you to a higher level of experience, then it will be. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Lovely. So yes, but you're right. You know, those redirections they feel like synchronicities, don't they? When you start to see them that way, that's weird, isn't it? It's sort of almost you go on a journey, I think, with that.
Well, then you're really playing with reality. Then you are moving more into the very higher echelons, I think, of the fourth density and into the fifth.
Yeah. Which is where we are on that
We're
path.
headed.
Absolutely.
Headed if you choose to be. Headed if you choose to be. And we certainly hope you are. And that's why we're here.
Absolutely. Love it. Okay. And so what else do we want to talk about?
We wanted to invite people just to set an intention to notice your synchronicities more often so that you do feel that you are being guided in a sense by a greater force, or that you've got that feedback and support from a greater source because it's there and it exists. We just don't pause and take the time to observe it often, do we?
And setting that intention to welcome more synchronicities into your life. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you could command them. Like, if I'm really worthy, then I want to see this happen. I'm telling the universe I've had enough of that, and this is what I want. We so want our guides, our higher self, the universe, source, God, to give us things. But how often do we actually sit and ask for it? They're all around saying, you guys have free will. But if you don't ask, it's not going to be given, is it?
And I love maybe a phrase is, I am open to receiving guidance through synchronicities. I'm open to receiving your guides through synchronicities, through redirection, through alignment. Yeah.
For my highest good.
For my highest good. To help me with my soul's path, you know? And to experience more joy in my life. I mean, you can weave that into anything, can't you? To experience more joy in my life, to experience more fun.
Absolutely.
We can start to
more
really
of that, don't we?
Play with that intention of working with them for a reason.
Yeah.
And sometimes we do need to nail it down a little bit. So if we've got something not working in your life, you can then reword this to bring you and redirect you to a better experience. So if things are blocked in some area of your life, okay, guides, I'm open to receiving guidance to redirect me to more abundance, more joy, because you keep that really high level then, rather than focusing on the problem, you're focusing on bringing about a solution and bringing about a different direction. So I think that's kind of a nice way to work with synchronicities in your guides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes we do have to look for them, I think. Sometimes the more we do, the more they'll kind of jump out. About 2 weeks ago, you were off on a lovely walk with Daisy, and you just had to pause in the middle of a voice note and say, I'm sorry, I've just got to take a photograph of these trees. Yeah. And they were so beautiful, the silhouette of the trees on the ground. And you shared it with me, and I said, oh, to me, that looks like women raising their hands up in celebration. And you're like, oh, I don't think you saw it that way, did you?
I didn't even see it, Emily. And this is the weird thing about synchronicities.
The canopy or something.
I just was almost stopped in my tracks.
You were.
Because you witnessed it as a voice note. So I was leaving Emily a voice note about tomorrow, about the following day, which we were gathering and we were doing our beautiful event in Avery, which was epic.
It was.
But this was the day before, and I was just grounding and just going on a walk, but thinking of the event the next day. This is the synchronicity. It was mind-blowing, actually.
So the more aware of your conscious thoughts, the more this makes sense.
And we did this,
right?
Because we were like, what was I thinking about at the time when I literally was talking to Emily about the following day event, which we were super excited about, and in a very high vibrational frequency. I was bringing in my guides, and I was really in a good elevated frequency. And I just felt this very clear stop. And I actually said on the voice note to Emily, I've got to take a picture. I'd love to.
I'll send it to you.
I was like, I've got to take this picture, and I don't know why. And I kind of really didn't understand why I was having to take this picture. I knew it looked nice, but it was just the shadow of some trees, really. So you could easily have walked past it. But I got this really strong, like, look at this. Stop and look at this and take a photograph and send it to Emily. And I was like, I've got to send it. And I was like babbling on this message to Emily saying, I've got to take a picture of this thing and I'm going to send it to you. She must have thought, what's going on? Took the picture, sent it to Emily, and she then voice notes back, oh my gosh, it looks like women holding up their hands. And I was like, I think it's about, we thought it was linked to tomorrow. And I was like, it's about tomorrow and how we're females are, it does happen United. To be only ladies coming. That was not intentionally, but it was only
men
ladies.
Men are always welcome.
Yeah, men are always welcome. But it happened to be just ladies. Yeah. And so it was like, this is just, I don't know, we had this kind of between us. This moment of like, how funny. But it's being represented in this kind of tree way.
That's right. And then
it was just wild.
We went to the Longborough to begin with at Avebury, and we came past, is its official name the fairy tree? I don't know. But again, I had that stop, gather, take a picture of the women under the tree, which I did. And so it's March when that was taken, when this is being filmed, and it was a very clear, again, silhouette of that tree. The leaves have not sprouted yet. No, spring hasn't quite sprung yet. Took a photo, very nice, didn't think anything of it. And then actually, we'd had a beautiful, beautiful ceremony, activation. I don't even know quite what to call it in the Longborough. And we all came out, and it was just such a glorious day. And I think there'd been a lot of high frequency children energy. Another synchronicity story there. You're not going to believe this.
Oh, really?
But, and so we all just stood, and I said, we need to embody this, but we also need to, and the words are going to escape me because they haven't quite come yet, we need to demonstrate what this is like to stand in your power and to feel this feeling that we were all feeling within us.
It was kind of euphoria.
Show
really,
it to others. Show it to others. And we all just stood, and our arms are up, and we're just feeling this beautiful power, this glory. And you capture some photos, I capture some photos. And then it's kind of that evening or the next day, we're sharing them all in the group. Yeah. And these 3 images just pop out in our minds, and we're like, oh, aren't they so like similar?
Overlaid. I could see, I was kind of being shown them overlaid.
Yes.
And my guides were like, look, can't you see the synchronization of, so basically the prior day where I was called to stop and take the photo was almost a premonition. And we couldn't possibly have known that we'd be there throwing our arms up, and we had no idea we were going to be doing that. And it was it was almost like would we call it like a negative image, like a photo negative?
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like an opposite shadow, because it was shadows of this tree. It's like a shadow version of the reality. It was mind blowing. I was like, oh my goodness, I shared with everybody in the group the original photo that Emily and I experienced, and the group were just blown away. They were like, what? Oh my gosh. And they could see the synchronicity too. So
it was lovely, wasn't
incredible.
it?
It was
lovely.
incredible and lovely, actually. I'm loving this idea of sharing these synchronicities now when we are having shared experiences, and just with people in WhatsApp groups and like-minded souls. I think sharing these synchronicities, I'd like to encourage us all to do it with our spiritual besties, with our spiritual families. Let's spread it, because there's something about spreading the frequency in this, and that's very unifying. It's like a unity consciousness thing, sharing these high vibrational experiences.
I think it's also leading on to when we are more
community connected.
It's when we're reading each other's minds.
Oh, telepathic.
Thank you very much.
You're right, because with that image, there was a definite, like, what do we call it? Premonition.
The premonition, but the unity of it all is because we will be sharing that same consciousness. So we'll be having less
unity.
There's less secrets. There's less hiding things, because you know how everyone's feeling or seeing. It's becoming more transparent. And we kind of touched on that in the previous episode when we were talking about the frequency, and when you get a good vibe from someone or not, a good vibe from a coffee shop or not. So what I wanted to share was
about the children.
There's so many children, and we were like, okay, give them their space, and it was beautiful, and we were kind of taking away, like, I think we all need to be in colourful wellies and wear wings more of the time.
How many pink pairs of wellies did we see?
I know.
It's crazy.
And so I'd invited a few people, and one gentleman who couldn't come shared with me, I think yesterday, who knows now, but he said, I was thinking of you because you said you would hold some space for me at Avebury. And I said, yes, we did. And I said, there was so many children. And he said, well, I was at a coffee shop, and a little girl just smiled at me and came over and gave me a high five. He said he felt his heart open. And then a little girl came up and gave him a high five. And I said, I can't believe you've shared that. We had so many children.
We did.
At Avebury all around. I said, look, you're picking up that frequency already. And that's, connecting. We are all connected if we choose to, if we have that intention to be. And it's so nice. It's so nice. It feels so good. So if you're still watching the news, please stop. That disconnects us. That doesn't help us, does it? It doesn't really benefit us at all.
We don't need to share that negativity. But at the same time, I just want to hit on the children and how telepathic children are. Oh my goodness, there are so many children that are so aware of their gifts. There are so many lightworker children out there, coming up into ages where they're not babies, they're there's 9, 10, 11, 12, and oh my goodness, 13. And they're all so telepathic and so incredibly gifted. They've remained relatively pure, because they've had less of the dense frequency in the collective, which we've been working on. We've been working on it, all of us. So this has meant that in the collective, especially a lot of these beautiful starseed children have lightworker parents who aren't feeding them all the negative frequencies, and they are just really, their gifts are coming online. And I just really felt that with the ages of the children that were there in the long barrel, we ended up surrounded by children almost the whole time we were there.
Incredible.
It was, and they were drawn like little moths to a flame. Some of the parents are like frowning, and maybe not even their parents, the adults there were looking at the long barrow from quite a scientific lens and a historical, factual lens, whereas the children were there on our frequency, experiencing it,
showing us stones, showing us pebbles, sharing like their little stories
and their energy, and they
it was so nice.
Oh, it was beautiful.
They
added to
special.
the frequency, didn't they?
Oh, completely. Because we got to a point when we were like, are we going to have time to go. It's so busy. Yeah. And it was like, no, just wait, experience it. This is happening for a reason. Why get stressed about it, right? Like enjoy this happy energy. Yeah. And it all worked out perfectly. And then we had our time in there where we weren't disturbed. And then we did have some children come in. but
we were only really majorly disturbed by children, but that didn't disturb us. It just lifted the frequency even more. It was so beautiful.
We were able to set that expectation for everyone else. Like, this is what's happening. Let's embrace it. And it just... It flowed. It was beautiful. It was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, it just didn't hold us back in any way. It was beautiful.
No, made it better.
So many synchronicity stories that we could share.
And we want to hear yours. We'd like to hear yours. We really want to hear yours. Please drop it in the comments.
And just align with the fact that it's not just sharing our stories, it's sharing that joy frequency that you get when you experience these beautiful synchronicities. So please feel free to share as much as you want to share. We're going to be excited listening, and we're going to be sharing in your excitement when you experienced it. And everybody else that reads the comments and whatever you've shared, they're going to experience it. It's rippling out. It ripples out. So share as many synchronicity stories as you like, and we welcome them. And may the ripples flow. Ripples of beautiful high vibrational frequency flow.
Absolutely. Anything else you'd like to add before we close today?
Hang on a second. I'll check my notes. Oh, dear. I was just going to say, how do we recognize when we've got... when it's a synchronicity, and I think we've covered that, which is the feeling that you get. I just want to reiterate that. It's the feeling that you get when it's not just recognizing the numbers, it's how you're feeling, how it makes you feel, because it's all about that frequency.
It is.
So with that in mind, I've got an idea.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think we're in a very high vibrational frequency because we've been talking about the children. So do you want to do a little bit of channeling the high vibrational kind of childlike frequencies that we can tap into?
I don't know if I've ever done that before.
Okay, I'm going to start then. I just feel something coming through, and I felt like it was coming through for you too. I think it will when I start.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just because we've had such a playful vibe all day, and I want to kind of send that down to everybody. So I know it's a bit off the track, but the children have been coming into this episode for a reason.
No, because when people watch this, they're going to be like, I was laughing all day long, and then your episode came on and it made me laugh even more. What a synchronicity.
Exactly, yes.
We just don't see them yet. We don't see them yet.
But share them. Please, if there are synchronicities about this episode or any future episodes, share your synchronicities beyond this episode. We want to hear about them on our Instagram pages, on here. Share your synchronicities, just because remember that everybody else is going to be picking up on that frequency as well. So there is a reason behind that, as well as we just love hearing it, and it's just so beautiful and heartwarming. So I'm just going to bring through some really high vibrational childlike frequencies that are, I just feel them also sort of coming through now. So I'm going to just start channeling. And these codes are helping you to connect with that inner child within. That felt so high vibrational. Oh my gosh, I'm just in bliss vibes now. I hope you all are too. Welcome the frequencies.
Yeah.
It's making Emily laugh too.
I was chuckling away there. Yeah. Reminded me of a painting.
Really?
That my grandmother did of me as a kid. And I'm running. And I was chasing after a dog, but she painted a goat because she thought that'd be more interesting. I might put that up in the cabin, actually.
Oh, that's
just
so cute.
Just to kind of embrace that inner child and
Yes.
playful energy.
I
Just
love
bring that
that.
into the workspace.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I hope you enjoyed the frequencies. I
Thank
hope,
you for
again, if it
listening and
made
joining us.
you feel any remembering, like Emily got images of her childhood. If anything came up for you when you're receiving that, please share it with us. Again, this is
so
all
beautiful.
just such a pleasure to hear other people's experiences. That's the whole point of us doing this podcast, is to unify everybody, unite everybody, and hear about your stories as well. A place where you can share your stories, share these beautiful synchronicities, share your experiences. We're all ears. We want to listen. And yeah, we love you.
We do love you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening.
Joyful blessings. Namaste. Thanks for joining us today. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you want to work with us directly, see the show notes below. Thank you.